yes it will.
Great song there by AI Green. That one titled "A Change Is Gonna Come." He's also the singer of "Let's Stay Together." Powerful vocals, powerful soul. I mean, some people like to describe him as a very soulful man. I mean, what else do you expect? You wake up every morning and you hear a voice like that, you're never going to have a bad day. Good morning and welcome to Rapid Dawn. It is a bright and beautiful Tuesday morning, and I'm definitely sure that you are ready for the day. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and of course, I'm not alone. Ugo, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, everyone out there. I mean, it's another beautiful Tuesday. Time to get at it again. Keep the ball rolling. Definitely, it's going to be an amazing show today, isn't it?
Oh, yes. All right, this morning we're going to go straight to what we have for you. We'll first of all start with health and wellness this morning. And of course, we have something interesting for you, which you do not want to miss. We'll be right back.
Now, if you get acid reflux, then this is the video for you. I'm going to teach you some scientifically proven ways to help get rid of acid reflux. Okay, so first let's begin with what is acid reflux and heartburn. You really need to understand what it is, so then you can understand how the tips are going to help. So, I've got a great idea. Let's make it happen. Okay, so here's my masterpiece. This is your food pipe. So imagine it going like this. Food goes in, down your food pipe. This is what we call your lower sphincter. So the black tape is your lower sphincter and the balloon is your stomach. Now this lower sphincter is magical because what it is it's a one-way valve. So food and fluids can only go down into your stomach, not upwards. Now sometimes the lower sphincter doesn't close tight enough. This means as your stomach's moving around and churning around, the acid can then move up the esophagus or the food pipe, whatever you want to call it. So this acid can basically lead to acid reflux, and a more chronic version of it is gastroesophageal reflux disease, commonly known as GORD. So it's basically this acid going up the food pipe that's causing that classic symptom which we all know so well, called heartburn. So heartburn is a symptom of acid reflux or GORD. So now that we know the cause, when you think about it, there's an easy fix here. If there was a way of strengthening your lower sphincter and stopping it from going up, basically the acid, then we could fix a lot of these problems that acid reflux causes. I like your thinking. Now let's learn how we do it. Okay, so moving on to tip number 1, caffeine, drinking alcohol and smoking. All of these make the lower sphincter not work properly, so it's not getting as tight and it's not preventing the acid from coming up. So here's your first solution. If you do smoke, if you do drink more than 14 units of alcohol per week, if you do drink more than 3 to 4 cups of coffee every single day, you need to stop or cut down. Now I know I'm being really blunt about it, but what it's going to do is it's going to help tighten that sphincter and it's going to stop the acid from going up and causing heartburn and all those symptoms that you're getting, okay? Okay, so moving on to tip number 2. If you're someone whose acid reflux gets worse when you lay down, basically this is happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to use gravity to help get the acid down into the stomach where it should be. Simple but effective trick. So here's what you need to do for tip number 2. Raise the top of your bed by about 10 to 20 centimeters, okay? This isn't 10 to 20 centimeters, but you get the point. Either put 2 things underneath the legs of your bed on one end, or put something over where you sleep so that your head and chest are basically above your waist by about 10 to 20 centimeters, and it should help gravity do its magic. Okay, so moving on to tip number 3, reduce the pressure on your belly area. More pressure means more acid is going to go up the food pipe, causing those symptoms. So here's what you need to do. So first of all, you need to avoid wearing tight fitting clothes. It's going to push up that acid and cause those symptoms. Secondly, if you are overweight, consider reducing weight. This is going to help reduce all that pressure and reduce that acid going up. Now let's move on to tip number 4. In terms of food and drinks, I always recommend little and often. Don't have heavy meals. It's going to make acid reflux worse. Also, avoid food and drinks at least 3 hours before bedtime. This is really going to help. In terms of foods, peppermint, caffeine, tomatoes, chocolate, all of these are well known to make acid reflux worse. So you may want to cut down or reduce them entirely. And moving on to tip number 5, certain medication can make acid reflux worse. Common culprits, NSAIDs like aspirin, ibuprofen. Also medications like diazepam, theophylline, calcium channel blockers like amlodipine, nifedipine. All all of these can make acid reflux worse. So the best advice I'd give you is definitely don't stop taking these medicines if your healthcare professional has prescribed them for you, but definitely have a word with them about the acid reflux symptoms that you might be getting from it. They might be able to prescribe you something else or give you some medications such as antacids, PPI, stuff like that to help with the acid reflux symptoms. So I really hope you find this information helpful. I will leave loads of red flags in the description below. With acid reflux, it's really important that you're aware of these red flags on when to seek medical attention, okay? Always remember you're awesome, and I really hope these tips help you. I'll see you next week.
All right, that was something there.
Yeah, definitely. Acid reflux, heartburn, it's something that some people are dealing with at the moment. A couple of tips to help you get by. If you're a heavy investor in alcohol, I mean, you stand at a dangerous risk of having acid reflux or heartburn, as the case may be. And if you follow some of the tips that were given in the video, I'm sure you would just be fine.
Okay, let's now look at some of the things that you should definitely avoid, especially now that people want to buy things outside, but then again, you do not know what you're buying. So a lady made a post on social media where she said her father got kilishi, but apparently it wasn't kilishi. Let's check out this video.
I know that you hate me.
Baruku, shall see loud, Mombo.
From Abuja and bone meat. Like, I washed it, see. Should I even call it in crazy meat? Or the crazy plastic? First, I was curious. I was like, okay, it's a meat. But when I started eating this kilishi, it started like tasting somehow. See, this thing is no meat. What the fuck? This is rubber. Like, I tasted, I was like, this is not looking like kilishi. Ew, this is a kilishi. See. What's that pieces? You guys cannot tell me this thing is meat. After using this stuff to scrub meat and it did not cut. Look at. What is this? Look at. Look at. Like, guys. See. Let me go. See. Can you see? Pure rubber. Rubber. If making kilishi. Look at now. Does this look like a meat? Look at. Look at this one. See the one that won't shock me past. This is it. Look at. Hey, whoa. Hey, crazy. Crazy rubber.
All right. I think that people should just be careful out there because if you're not being careful, those who are working wonders would definitely keep working wonders. And it's so bad how things have definitely turned. We're going to go on a short music break, and when we come back, the show continues.
Welcome back. We do have a story regarding the EFCC chairman, Ola Olukoyede, who did make a statement. I think that was over the weekend regarding the activities of the anti-graft agency and how it is that one particular thing that he said that has got a lot of people talking and has sparked a whole lot of reactions on the activities of some religious organizations and the fact that some religious organizations, I'm not sure now if he said some or most religious organizations are actually corrupt. And it's something that a lot of people have been reacting to, asking the EFCC chairman if his job is to determine who is more corrupt and who is not more corrupt, or if it's to actually go after corrupt individuals and try to crack down on corrupt and anti-graft activities. Well, certainly something that we need to talk about.
Let's check out the video right about now.
I want to plead with us who are religious leaders. Let us use our podium, not only to preach, but to demonstrate. Just this last week, I've had calls to recover how many millions from a religious organization. They appointed you a pastor, you use the opportunity to. That's when you become a big man. We don't even know what you are doing to earn a living, legitimately on your own. You live on the people money, on the ministry, on the church, on the mosque. You can't even explain your wealth, the source of your wealth. If you are not accountable as a religious person, and you expect a public officer to be accountable. People of God, you want to hear the truth? Some religious organizations are more corrupt than public offices. I have evidence towards that. Empirical evidence. It may not be expedient for me to say all that here, but let us go home with that. You look at the speckle in somebody's eyes. Meanwhile, in your own eyes, there is a log. We preach this thing on the altar, but under our nose, the same thing happens. And sometimes we try to cover up. It's our own. Let us deal with it in-house. But when it is public officer, we go. All of us, we start throwing banters. We do not ourselves a good. No, we are not.
Yeah, it does sound like some sort of defense for public offices, but I think that whole revelation, someone might say, is eye-opening. You know how it is that we're very religious people. Most people wouldn't want you talking about their spiritual heads, whether it's their imams or their pastors or their traditionalists, as the case may be. So some people find it sacred to talk about things like that. But this statement coming from somebody who is leading the war against corruption in Nigeria. So you want to wonder at the extent that he has gone to try to do a crackdown on some of these activities. I think it was earlier this year that I think it was a pastor who was arrested in Ebonyi for alleged money laundering activities and defrauding his members, some to the tune of 1.3 billion naira. And you want to wonder, okay, how exactly does a pastor get his hands on money as large as that? And it certainly does raise a cause for worry.
Oh, well, I think that if the EFCC man says that the religious bodies are more corrupt than others, then he definitely has his reasons, and all I will have to say is he should go after them. If he has been able to identify, cite any corrupt religious organization with verifiable proof, like they always say, then he should go after them. It's not enough to just speak about it. You have to go after them. It doesn't matter if they are religious bodies or whatever, traditional body, whatever it is, you go after. The same energy you would use for a cybercrime person, use the same energy and go after them. And if anybody is not happy about it, let the person tell you why he's not happy about it. But nobody should be spared if we say we're going to be fighting the war on corruption. Nobody should be upset, or rather displeased by, by the agency going, for these people. It's as simple as that. So, yes, is there corruption in the church? That's not for me to answer. That's on him, who is the head and has identified it. That's on him to go after them and sort it out. It's as simple as that. I mean, if you're noticing that some monies cannot be accounted for in a certain church, monies are being passed through in the form of tithes and offerings and donations, and you suspect something fishy. Or maybe you can plant whistleblowers in the church and see those who are going to blow the whistle on their pastors. It's as simple as that. But at the end of the day, let's see if they're going to make some actions towards what he has said. Or maybe the churches now would start being very conscious. It depends. But we do not know what happens after the words that he has spoken. It's as simple as that. Anyway, let's move on to something else. We heard yesterday that Donald Trump has decided to take a vice president. We hear that Donald Trump has decided to take a vice running mate, and we will discuss all of that after this break. We'll be right back.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Vista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu. Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Carigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere, don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching Rapid Dawn. So, before that break, we did tell you that Donald Trump has decided to pick a vice running mate in the person of J.D. Vance. Now, J.D. Vance is one person that hasn't really spoken highly of Donald Trump in the past. And then a lot of Americans are wondering, how come the choice of a J.D. Vance? Now, let's check out what J.D. Vance looked like. This is him in the photo, and then we're going to see some of the things that he actually did say about Donald Trump in the past in this next video.
As somebody who doesn't like Trump, myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump, right? I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. If I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary.
So some of the things that J.D. Vance had said about Donald Trump in the past, and a lot of people are wondering what must have changed. And it probably gives me, hearing those things reminds me of some people that we do know. I mean, right here in our home country, you see a person talking from both sides of the mouth, you know, this person. And before you know it, you're wondering, you're asking yourself, how did this person move over to this party or move over to this other side, and they are excitedly working with this other person? But then again, let's see, I'm sure there are other qualities about J.D. Vance, which of course we definitely don't want to go into. I'm sure there are other impeccable qualities probably as to why Donald Trump decided to take him as a vice. I mean, some people have likened it to even the current vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, which in the past she probably had said a couple of things regarding Joe Biden, but here she is today being the vice for the same Joe Biden. So, well, one might want to say it's politics. That's how the game is played. All right, moving on to some other interesting thing. For fans of Alec Baldwin, it will interest you to know that his case has actually been attended to, and of course it's been discussed. Now, you might want to say, after about nearly 3 years of legal saga for Alec Baldwin in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer, it actually ended, but mixed feelings, tears of relief for the actor, and but not exactly for the family. Let's see how it transpired in the court that very day.
The integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted. Now, with respect to the jury, I don't imagine you all want to return on Monday. I will take care of the jury.
Thank you, Ron.
We are in recess. I'm not getting it. The integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted. Now, with respect to the jury, I don't imagine you all want to return on Monday. I will take care of the jury.
Thank you.
We are in recess. I'm not getting up.
Congratulations. But then again, the wife of the man that it happened to did say that she was not backing down, and she was still going to push for the case to continue. Now, even though the defense attorney for Baldwin accused local investigators and prosecutors of concealing evidence that might shed light on the unconfirmed origin of live ammunition on the set of Rust. Now, they were having a movie shoot when this unfortunate incident had happened. And, you know, when you are on set, sometimes these things are meant to be props, or they're not supposed to be real ammunition. But unfortunately, it did happen that that particular one was actually a live ammunition, and it went off. And so it was such a devastating turn of events as the man lost his life. But that's the way the court case goes. One party would smile, the other party would apparently not smile so much. But then we do wish that nothing like this happens to him going forward. At least now he can be able to be free, not that the case has been dismissed. Some of the things right there on the foreign scene. Now, we coming back home, we hear that one Miss Anneke has graduated as the best graduating student. Now, this is not just a best graduating student. She had several. Let's have her on the screen at this moment. A best graduating student. I think this one is over graduating already, because Miss Anneke Chiwendu Francisca, the best overall graduating student, Department of Microbiology, she left with best in pharmaceutical microbiology, best in medical microbiology, best in industrial MCB, best in food MCB, best in environmental, best in everything. And it was best in 100, 200, 300 level CGPA. This is what some persons might want to call beauty with brains. But the next question now is, what does she get? We've had a lot of conversation regarding to what our best graduating students always get. Sometimes, I think on this set, we've had a conversation whereby we're complaining that you see a person going for some of this contests, and people, even on social platforms, people complaining that people going on these competitions, they have millions of naira, they have prizes, cash prizes and the likes. They have so many people wanting to celebrate them, making them ambassadors. But then our best graduating students don't seem to get so much. I think the highest we've ever seen was about 100,000. But I am still waiting to see what Ms. Anneke is going to get, either from her state government or from the institution or at the federal level, or maybe even those people on social media who are saying, oh, let some people just say, oh, I want to be the fan of Miss Anneke. Let us buy her a house for being intelligent. Let us get her a money bouquet for doing this and doing that, like how they do to other people when they go for some of these things. But I do wish her a successful, going forward, a successful life going forward. I do wish that she gets the best of jobs and not feel like her best graduating is in vain. I do hope that she's really, really appreciated and shown the much love that she can get. At this point, we're going to move us straight to a report. Now, at about 9 o'clock, our guest is going to be in the studio, and we're going to be having a conversation which is going to be centered on disaster management. A whole lot of things have been happening in Africa, in a country, and it's almost like we do not even know how to handle some of these things when they happen. And so Our guests will be here at about 9 to have that conversation with us, talking about disaster management, talking about the right approach. At what point do we create structures in place to handle disasters when they occur, or do we just hazards when they occur, or do we just wait till when it happens before we start sorting out some of those problems? Anyway, you don't want to miss the 9 o'clock conversation, but this very short report will give you an insight to what we're going to be talking about at about 9 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Despite contributing minimally to global warming, Africa faces significant challenges in preparing for and responding to disaster risks exacerbated by climate change. Fiscal constraints and inadequate policy frameworks hinder the region's ability to manage emergency situations effectively. By 2050, an estimated 85 million people may be forced to relocate within their own countries due to climate change. In response, IAEM Africa has taken the initiative to facilitate collaborative strategies for emergency management in the region.
Many African countries struggle to cope with the increasing burden of climate-related illnesses. Coastal erosion and saltwater intrusion into freshwater sources compound the challenges faced by coastal communities. The continent's contribution to global greenhouse gas emissions is minimal, accounting for less than 4% of the global total. Africa, despite being the least contributor to global warming, suffers disproportionately from its impacts. Africa's capacity to adapt to climate change is limited by economic constraints, lack of infrastructure, financial resources, and technological means. In my humble opinion,
representatives from various agencies shared their expertise and experiences, emphasizing the need for a unified approach for emergency management in Africa.
Many people are dying carelessly. Many properties we seriously acquired are being destroyed because of many natural disasters, technological errors, and human-induced disasters like banditry, terrorism, and the rest of them. So let us be serious. And once we are serious, we have to put our hands together. It's not one man's affair or one organization's affair. When we collaboratively put our heads together, undertake trainings constantly.
This landmark event signifies a pivotal moment in our collective efforts to enhance emergency management and disaster resilience across the continent of Africa. As the DG NEMA, I'm aware of the pressing need for robust and coordinated emergency management strategies. The establishment of IAM Africa provides an unprecedented platform for collaboration, innovation, and knowledge sharing amongst emergency management professionals. It is a testament to our shared commitment to saving lives, properties, and the environment in Nigeria and beyond.
IAEM Africa's president, Dr. Susan Agata, stressed that disasters can be avoided through proactive measures and regional collaboration by sharing best practices and working together. African disaster management agencies can envision a future where they work hand in hand to mitigate the impact of disasters.
I want to address your comment first about we can't stop disasters. We can stop disasters. Because, and let me put on a little bit of my professorial hat here, disasters happen mostly because of human intervention. What we have failed to do, institutional neglect. There are factors that converge to create disaster. There's a difference between disaster and hazard. Hazard is rainfall. Hazard is flooding. Hazard is earthquake. But hazard is not disaster. Disaster is the intersection of human vulnerability and the hazard. So if you have flooding and then people are vulnerable for different reasons, and that flooding impacts the vulnerable people for whatever reason they are vulnerable, That is when disaster happens.
From Abuja, Rapid TV News reports on IEM Africa's effort to revolutionize emergency management in the region. Stay tuned for more updates on this critical initiatives.
All right, so that's it. I'm definitely sure that you have a clear perspective of what it is, and at about 9 o'clock we'll have a full conversation because it's really, really a problem. Today we hear several stories, collapse of building, flooding, so many things happening within Nigeria, and even at Africa at large. We have so many things happening, and it's almost like we're not prepared for some of these things. And so it's a good initiative, you know, that the disaster managers are trying to, you know, put together, and I'm definitely sure that something will come out of it subsequently. So stay tuned at about 9 o'clock for that conversation. All right, we're going to quickly take our papers and see some of the big stories on our headlines this beautiful morning. If it's ready, let's have some of the big stories on our national dailies this morning. We begin with Business Day. Nigeria confronts worst health crisis in decades. Can we have the right out bolder, please? Nigeria confronts worst health crisis in decades. And we have other big stories there. Telcos up data center investment on 500 internet usage surge. Let's go right above the masthead of Business Day to see what we have there. World's most opaque company stench trails. This is coming, NNPC secret deals. Okay, great, interesting headline. I'm definitely sure that you would want to read what that is all about. Let's now move on to the next paper. Court restrains Ado Bayero, 4 others from acting as emirs, and the others depose emirs to surrender all properties in their possession that belong to Kano State Emirate Council to state government. And right above we have Senator Dave Umahi, an ingenious innovator doing of human capital transformation. Okay, let's see. Let's now go below and see what we have right there on Daily Times this morning. There are indices that Nigeria economy is doing well. Wow, this is coming from Senator Sani Musa. As NNPCL promises again, PH refinery begins production early August. We will amend House rules to receive petitions via e-platform. This coming from the Speaker. Illegal mining, federal government loses $9 billion annually, says House committee. And on food shortage, federal government donates 20 trucks of rice each to 36 states. Nigeria's inflation soars as food prices surge to 40.89%. Now, this federal government donating 20 trucks of rice, I think that it's a very good one. I think that people in their different states should try as much as possible to follow up on that and find out where the 20 trucks of rice are going to, so that we don't have a situation of what happened during the COVID time, where palliatives were being hoarded. I mean, I think it's good for you in your various respective states. It's good for you to follow up. I mean, I think I'm going to follow up in my own state and see if the 20 trucks of rice is going to get to me or anybody else that I know. And then once that is confirmed, I'm definitely sure to let you guys know on the show that, oh, these 20 trucks of rice for each state, I think we might have gotten. I mean, it's always good that when these things are being announced, you are able to confirm that it actually got to the people that it was meant to get to. Not a situation whereby you have things being donated, yet the people it's meant for do not get to it. And then Senator Sani saying that the Nigeria economy is doing well. I really don't know where the indices are coming from. But then again, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how that plays out. Let's move on to the next paper this morning. All right, Daily Trust. Bandits kill 4, abduct 150
in Zamfara. This is not a sad news. This is not a good news, sorry. 2 babies among abductees. Some women escaped with broken limbs. Whew. PH refinery takes delivery of 1 million barrels of crude. Court restrains Bayero 4 others from parading themselves as emirs. And hardship, don't stage protests. This is a cry to the youth to not stage a protest. I mean, yesterday we got the news that some persons are planning a protest. National Assembly mulls constitution review for INEC to conduct local government polls. Federal government donate 20 trucks of rice to each state and the FCT. And we also have the news there. Trump emerges presidential candidate, picks J.D. Vance as his running mate. Let's move on. On Daily Trust, on The Guardian this morning, Nigerians at risk of food crisis as inflation hits new record. Lawan disowns anti-Tinubu comment amid moves to sanction Ndume. And again, Kyari gives early August promise on PH refinery. And Pro-Wike lawmakers block Fubara's access to funds. And we also have a story right there. Tinubu may transmit minimum wage bill to NAS next week. Okay. And we also have the story on the Bayero for others as monarch. Court bars them as monarch. These and many more you will find on The Guardian this morning if you grab a copy. Let's now move on. Daily Independence has it that federal government tackles hunger, gives 20 trucks of rice to each state. I think at this point, the way it's, the story is everywhere. I am forced to ask, this rice, first, let's assume that the people get this rice. What would they eat with the rice? Because, I mean, other ingredients are expensive. Other ingredients are so expensive in the market. So if I get rice, for example, which there are no guarantee that is going to be 1 bag per house. If I get this rice, for example, what will I use the rice? What will I eat with the rice? Will I just boil the white rice and no, no ingredients, nothing else? Anyway, it says it has identified solution to food shortage, may reveal final resolution on minimum wage on Thursday as well. All right, Dangote says COI's projected $30 billion revenue will boost Naira value. And we also have a story right there on the UAE. Yes, UAE lift ban on Nigerian passport holders. This story came out yesterday. Don't forget that they've been hinting about this for quite some time right now. And it's been, lots of Nigerians have been looking forward to this. But finally, it's here. And so you can travel again. This and many more you will find. Worsened food crisis pushes inflation to 34.19%. Not a good thing, but we do hope that the government of the day is going to do something about it and improve the situation of things. Let's now move on to the next paper. And then we have leadership before we move on to sports. So on leadership this morning, heads of service Aduda Adebiyi in final race to replace Yemi Eson. And on hunger, federal government releases 740 trucks, of rice nationwide. This is quite different, all right? Okay, we also have a story right there that talks about the minimum wage. We have other stories from different states across the federation. We have Ondo local government transition committee resumes despite verdict. These and many more you will find when you grab a copy of the leadership this morning. Let's now move on to sports. All right, on Sporting Sun, PSG renews bid for Osimhen. Okay. We have Nico Williams to give away Euro 2024 winners a medal. And Cucurella girlfriend hit out at Neville. Okay. We have something there on Yamal. We also have lots of interesting stories that you want to read about if you grab a copy of Sporting Sun this beautiful morning. Let's see, do we have the other one? Okay, I think that's all we have on the papers this beautiful morning. Make sure you grab a copy on your way out this morning and get to check out some of the big stories on our national dailies. Just to give you something else on sports that you probably did not find on our national dailies, there's something on the esports game. We do hear that the esport game, can we have it on the screen, please? The esport game, the first Olympic esport games will be held. We hear that it's going to be held in Saudi Arabia. That's what the story has it, that is going to be held in Saudi Arabia. And then I'm just going to share a detail about this game. So Saudi Arabia and the International Olympic Committee have unveiled a 12-year agreement to host the new Esport Olympics starting next year. So the partnership ensures regularly held Olympic Esport Games, according to a statement from the International Olympic Committee on Friday, with the inaugural event set for 2025. Now, Saudi Arabia did not disclose its planned expenditure for the competition. And according to them, this is a natural next step for our young athletes, our country, and the global esports community. This is said by Prince Abdulaziz, who also leads the Saudi National Olympic Committee. And I am looking forward to what this game is going to be like. And Saudi Arabia, well, we'll definitely watch it from anywhere that we are in the world. I'm sure there are a whole lot of things that you want to know in the world of sports. Well, you can wait for that at the other side of 8 o'clock. It will come to you. And we're going to go on a music break. Now, this particular song, you know, I love me some Arawa music. This song, we have BOC in this particular song. And then we also have, it's by Saki Nadi. Let's check the song out. All right, that was Saki Nadi. In that song, he featured BOC. Of course, you know, when it comes to Arawa music, you cannot take the place. You cannot rule out BOC when it comes to Arawa music right there. So up next is sports. And of course, Ugochukwu is going to take you up on the world of sports. There are so many things happening, and I'm definitely sure that you do not want to miss any side of that.
All right, a very good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. It's Rapid Sports right here on Rapid Television Channel 176 on Star Times. Ugochukwu Matumeri is my name. And on the front burner, there's update from the glass house of the Nigeria Football Federation regarding who's going to be coach of the Super Eagles. Of course, you know, over the course of last weekend, the La Roja of Spain did win the Euro 2024 finals against England right there in Germany, and they were received triumphantly and with a lot of pomp and pageantry in their home country. Everyone's really excited about their success. And we also have news regarding transfers. Victor Osimhen also in the news this morning. And quite a whole lot of other developments in the world of sports. Well, without further getting delayed and without much ado, let's get on to the main event, and let's start off with proceedings from the glass house of the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, where President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, has dismissed reports that France women's national team coach Hervé Renard is being considered for the Super Eagles job by the Federation. Remember, the Eagles have been without a head coach since the resignation of Finidi George, who spent less than a month on the job. Finidi quit his role as coach of the side after the dismal performance during the World Cup qualifiers. And this was following the announcement that the NFF would appoint a foreign technical advisor for the team. And the decision came after an outcry by the football-loving fans following the team's poor performance, including a shock defeat to Benin Republic, managed, of course, by former coach of the Super Eagles. Now, Hervé Renard is currently the head coach of the France women's national team, but he recently made his intention to vacate the position after the Paris Olympic Games next month. His decision to quit the French team sparked rumors linking him with the vacant Eagles job, with many suggesting that the football body had contacted the two-time AFCON winning coach for the job with only his salary the stumbling block. Well, talking about his salary, it's quite humongous, to say the very least. But then again, reacting to the rumors in a chat with newsmen, Ibrahim Gusau, president of the NFF, said there was no such talks between the Federation and the Frenchman. Now, on the claim that the NFF would have to break the bank if they are considering going for a Hervé Renard, whose salary at the moment is about $180,000. I mean, if you do the calculation or if you do the translation to Naira, I mean, you might not be far away from the truth for anyone to say that the NFF would have to break the bank if they want to pay a Hervé Renard in the region of what he is worth. In his defense, he said, you see it from any official NFF communication channel. It is from some of those that are always trying to cause confusion. So officially, there is no discussion between the NFF now and Hervé Renard. Remember, he had previously managed the Zambia national team and did win the AFCON with them. Also won the competition in 2015 with Ivory Coast, and becoming the first coach to win 2 Africa Cup of Nations titles with 2 different teams. And in addition, he did coach Morocco to the 2018 World Cup. United States, a couple of Saudi Arabian clubs, was a coach of the Saudi Arabia national team during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where they, of course, stunned eventual world champions Argentina during the group stage. That was an unprecedented victory coming from behind to beat the world champions. Now, Renard is one of the managers who have been tipped to take charge of the United States men's national team following the dismissal of Greg Berhalter, who led the U.S. men's national team to an early exit at the 2024 Copa America. Now, while Nigeria is busy dilly-dallying who is going to be the coach, who's not going to be the coach, let's talk about nations that seem to have it all put together in terms of organization, in terms of man management, and, you know, giving the right people the nudge to occupy certain positions and basically get the job done. And one of such nations is, of course, undoubtedly the La Roja of Spain, where yesterday thousands of people in Madrid welcomed the Spanish team, the Spain squad, home after they beat England to win Euro 2024. Well, after receptions with King Felipe VI and Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, La Roja were paraded through the city on an open-top bus. Let's take a look at what the sights and the sounds were like in Madrid just yesterday. Well, the joy of victory, campeones means champions in Spanish, and it's actually really a beautiful language. That's Alvaro Morata, the El Capitone, or what you call the captain of the squad that just won the Euro 2024. Himself, the likes of Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and Sunday's match winner in Berlin, talking about Mikel Oyarzabal, wore t-shirts. You can also see that that's a t-shirt that Alvaro Morata is wearing with number 4 on them. And what that signifies is the record number of times that Spain have won the European Championship. They won it in 1964, won it in 2008, and also won it in 2012. And that's absolutely amazing. The team boss took them to Plaza Cibeles in central Madrid, where thousands more fans waited to celebrate the resounding success of the Spanish national team. And, well, waving flags, dressed in Spain's red and yellow colors, tens of thousands of people jubilantly greeted the country's triumphant Euro 2024 men's football team in that particular parade. Now, usually there's a competition between the winners of the Euro and the winners of the Copa America, and that's what we call the Finalissima. And this time around, it's going to be in 2025. It's absolutely historic because we're going to have Lionel Messi against the young man that he touched and possibly passed along that God genius, that amazing gene to do the unthinkable on the pitch of play. And that's talking about Lamine Yamal for Spain. The stage is set now for the 2025 Finalissima, pitting Copa America 2024 champions, the Albiceleste of Argentina, against Euro 2024 winners Spain in a clash of continental titans, in an exhilarating battle, a titanic tussle of two great footballing nations. This prestigious match, also known as the Grand Final, continues the tradition that began in 1985, bringing together the best teams from UEFA and CONMEBOL. The upcoming contest promises to be a captivating spectacle featuring the legendary lion of the tribe of Argentina, Lionel Messi, 2 Copa America trophies for him now. Of course, leading Argentina against the rising Spanish side, spearheaded by the 17-year-old Lamine Yamal. Well, interestingly, Messi and Yamal's only previous encounter was during a photo shoot in 2007, which has since gone viral, especially since that phenomenal goal that Lamine Yamal scored in the semi-final against France. Now, prior to the Euro 2024 finals, Yamal expressed his aspirations, saying, "I hope Messi wins the Copa America and I win the Euros so I can play against him in the Finalissima." Well, the inaugural Finalissima in 2022 saw Messi's Argentina triumph over Italy with a convincing 3-0 win at Wembley Stadium. So it's going to return this time to Germany, and building on this success, Argentina will be eager to defend their title, well, without the services of Angel Di Maria, who recently retired from international football. The 36-year-old forward had announced that the Copa America would be his final appearance for his country, and what a way to mark your exit from the national team. Well, talking about that now, Angel Di Maria has come out to say that Sunday's Copa America triumph over Colombia was the perfect dream ending to his career with the national team. Well, a 1-0 win after extra time goal scored by Lautaro Martinez secured a 3rd straight major title for the Albiceleste, following their 2021 Copa America win and their World Cup triumph the following year. Now, this is the record of this magician, this diminutive, pocket-sized disaster winger from Argentina, Angel Di Maria. He played 145 games for Argentina, he scored 31 goals. I think one of those goals against Nigeria. 2 Copa America titles, 1 FIFA World Cup, 1 Finalissima, 1 Under-20 World Cup. Remember back then, I think it was against the likes of Mikel Obi, Taiwo, Dele Adeleye, and some of them from that squad back then. And then he also won an Olympic gold medal, one of the greatest Argentine players of all time and among the greatest of his generation. And he brings his international football journey to a crescendo now. The 36-year-old announced in November he would retire from international duty after the tournament. Now, Argentine coach Lionel Scaloni took Di Maria off in the final minutes of extra time, ensuring he received a huge farewell from the team's fans, which his eyes showed he was moved by. Now, Di Maria had been a part of a generation with Lionel Messi, who won the Olympics in 2008, but then struggled for silverware, missing out in the final stages of the tournament to the frustration of the nation. I think one other person who was also part of that whole squad, that whole cult, if you like, was Sergio Kun Aguero. But then again, he had already retired before now. Di Maria scored the goal, which won the gold medal in Beijing, and also grabbed the goal in a 1-0 win over Brazil in the 2021 Copa final. So a generational talent there. Very amazing to see him bowed with his head held high. Congratulations to the big man Angel Di Maria. And still talking about retirements now, well, let's inform you, we'll have a couple of great players who are hanging up their boots with regards to international engagements. Germany striker Thomas Müller said yesterday that he was retiring from international football after what you might call a disappointing Euro 2024 that saw the host nation eliminated in the quarterfinals after 131 national team games and 45 goals. I am saying goodbye, Müller said in a video statement. And that's the stats there, courtesy of BBC Sports. 131 times he wore the white and the white colors of Germany, scored 45 goals with 41 assists. Of course, you know, he did win 1 World Cup, and that was in 2010 in South Africa. Now, tearful Müller had hinted at retirement following Germany's exit from Euro 2024. And after the game, Müller said he would hold talks with national team coach Julian Nagelsmann and decide whether it was the sensible option now to step aside in favor of younger players. And they did lose 2-1 to eventual winners Spain in the quarter-final. Germany and Real Madrid midfielder Toni Kroos announced before Euro 2024 that he would retire from football after the tournament. Unlike Kroos, Müller will still continue his club football for Bayern Munich at least until his contract expires in 2025. Now, goalkeeper Manuel Neuer is the only member of Germany's 2014. I beg your pardon, it was Germany that won the World Cup in 2014. Spain won it in 2010. Yes, now, Manuel Neuer is the only member of the Germany 2014 World Cup winning side still involved in the national team setup. And there's only a couple of players who have scored more goals for Germany than Thomas Müller. Among them, Lothar Matthäus, Miroslav Klose have played more games for Germany than Müller, who is also Germany's 6th highest goal scorer of all time. And I told you, a couple of big players bowing out. Switzerland's Xherdan Shaqiri announced his retirement yesterday after winning 125 caps with the Swiss national team. Midfielder Shaqiri, who now plays with Chicago Fire in the US, is Switzerland's 2nd most capped player after teammate Granit Xhaka on 130 caps. The former Bayern Munich and Liverpool player made his international debut in March 2010, aged 18. He did represent his country at 4 World Cups and 3 European Championships. And of course, they did act as if they were going to offer some sort of upset in this particular tournament, but that did not happen. Now, the former Bayern Munich and Liverpool player made his international debut in March 2010, aged 18. He represented his country at 4 World Cups and 3 European Championships. In what turned out to be his last game, Shaqiri scored in the penalty shootout as England beat Switzerland 5-3 on penalties following a 1-1 draw in their Euro 2024 final. Quarterfinal, I beg your pardon, that was in Dusseldorf. Shaqiri retires as Switzerland's 4th top goal scorer, 32 goals behind Alexander Frey with 42 and Koulibaly, Torkili Yilmaz and Max Abelgen on 34. Congratulations again to him. Now, finally, with regards to retirements, France's all-time leading goal scorer, his name, Olivier Giroud, has confirmed his international retirement. All of this happened yesterday, and I don't know if they planned it or something. Well, they called time on his career and saw him. Of course, he scored 57 goals in 137 appearances for the Les Bleus of France. And over the course of his international career, Giroud won the World Cup in 2018. And also was a World Cup and European Championship runner-up. And those are the stats there now for the top goal scorers chart for the French national team. We have Olivier Giroud on 57, Thierry Henry on 51, Kylian Mbappe, who had an underwhelming time during the Euros, on 48. He is the one who looks like he's going to topple that record, but he would need to score quite a good number of goals. Well, at least now he would need at least 9 goals to equal the record and 10 to surpass that record. Antoine Griezmann is on 44 and Michel Platini is on 41. He broke Thierry Henry's national goal scoring record of 51 at the 2022 World Cup finals in Qatar, where France did not surrender the title they won in 2018, easily losing to Lionel Messi-inspired Argentina on penalties in the final. And Giroud made his debut in 2011, scored his first goal during their third cap, when he netted the opener in a 2-1 friendly win against Germany. He scored the last of his record-setting 51 goals for the French national team in March 2024 with what proved to be the winner in a narrow victory over Chile. Now, the former Arsenal, Chelsea and AC Milan striker will join Major League Soccer outfit Los Angeles FC next season to play in the MLS. So, congratulations to Olivier Giroud, Xherdan Shaqiri, Thomas Müller and, of course, Angel Di Maria. Congratulations to them. Now, in the aftermath of the Euros 2024, there's been a couple of developments with regards to coaches and who is staying, who is going, and particularly for the Three Lions now, where we're hearing Eddie Howe, Graham Potter, Mauricio Pochettino and Lee Carsley are all on the FA's list of possible candidates to replace Gareth Southgate if he decides to leave his role as England manager. And we hear that he is considering his future over the coming days. So take a very short break. We'll be right back after that.
Álvaro, el escenario y el micrófono son todos tuyos.
Españoles, buenas noches.
All right, welcome back. I was telling you, of course, about the possibility of getting a new coach for the Three Lions. The English FA has drawn up a lengthy shortlist of possible candidates that could replace Gareth Southgate if he decides to resign his position as coach of the England national team. And that list includes current Newcastle manager Eddie Howe and former Chelsea manager Graham Potter. Also on the list of candidates is former Tottenham and Chelsea boss Mauricio Pochettino, who is currently out of work. It is thought to be he will be interested in the idea of talking to the FA. And Lee Carsley, the current England under-21 boss, is thought to be under consideration too, with the FA keen to include their recruitment process managers who have come through the ranks at St. George's Park. Southgate, who will be out of contract in December, is expected to consider his future over the coming days and promised in the lead up to Euros final that he wouldn't let this uncertainty over his future drag on for weeks. So everyone is really expecting it is really Gareth Southgate who gets to determine right now if he's going to stay on the job or if the English FA is going to make an appointment with regards to the shortlist that they have already. Of course, you know, the Nations League campaign is due to start in 6 weeks' time, and the FA does not have a lot of time to dilly-dally. Potter has been out of work since being sacked by Chelsea in the spring of 2023. Just 7 months after making the move from Brighton, he then turned down a number of jobs from some top European clubs, including Ajax and a host of other Premier League opportunities. But then again, he has a chance now to manage his country, and Gareth Southgate and his England team have arrived back at London following their defeat to Spain in the Euros final. Now, talking about England, Chelsea Football Club on Monday reviewed their new home kit for the 2024-2025 Premier League season, featuring a bold design that has already sparked debate among fans. If the number of Chelsea fans in Nigeria are 10, 9 of them do not like the jersey. So I don't know what the owners of the club are going to do about that. Manufactured by Nike, the kit showcases a striking blue flame theme that covers both the shirt and the shorts. And according to the club via social media, this flame graphic symbolizes the melting pot of London, where the flecks and ripples of liquid silver represents Chelsea's rich history and success. So, but then again, like I said, lots of fans are not happy with that particular design. Now, let's round up with news making the rounds in some of the tabloids in mainland Europe, UK to be precise. Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe will be one of the leading candidates to become England manager if current boss Gareth Southgate steps down. Former England midfielders Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard are also possible contenders. Manchester United have asked Germany defender Jonathan Tah with Bayern have asked about Jonathan Tah with Bayern Munich having failed to reach an agreement with Bayer Leverkusen to sign the 28-year-old. Galatasaray are in talks to sign Manchester United and Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay. Arsenal have rejected an offer for 23-year-old England midfielder Emil Smith-Rowe from Fulham, who are weighing up whether to make an improved bid. And Spain striker Alvaro Morata is set to join AC Milan from Atletico Madrid, and Manchester City are in advanced talks to sign Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig. Of course, he was top scorer for the Spanish national team in their Euro 2024 triumph. And finally, Paris Saint-Germain will only sign Napoli's Victor Osimhen if they are able to sell one of their strikers this summer. The Ligue 1 club has Bradley Barcola, Ousmane Dembele, Goncalo Ramos, Randall Kolo Muani, and Marco Asensio as on their roster as forwards and strikers. Now, Osimhen, you know, is looking to leave the Serie A side with a 130 million release clause hanging over his head in his current deal. And Fabrizio Romano did tweet yesterday Victor Osimhen remains on Paris Saint-Germain list in case they sell one striker this summer. No formal proposal on the table, but he is one of the names on PSG list, while also Saudi Pro League clubs are keen to sign the Nigerian striker. If Osimhen leaves, Napoli plan to go for Romelu Lukaku. And that's about it on the show this morning, because he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Gochuku Madumeri is my name. Thank you so much for being a part of the ride this morning. We're back again tomorrow with more juicy, sportsy stories. And up next on the Breakfast Show is Eastern Circle.
My name is also.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Vista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu. Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Carigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
All right, welcome back. It's Rapid Dawn, Jada side, and we're supposed to have a conversation, but we'll try as much as possible to bring that conversation, no matter how short it is, to you this morning. And we're being joined virtually by our guest. Unfortunately, he's not able to be here. Our guest this morning to have the conversation about disaster management in Nigeria and across Africa is the immediate past DG of FCT Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Abbas G. Idris. Good morning, sir. Good to have you join us virtually. Hello, Dr. Abbas. Can you hear me?
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah. The line is I can't hear you very well. That's the problem.
Okay. I don't know if, but you can hear me. I mean, a bit.
I can.
Okay. So this morning, having a very short conversation, myself and my co-host here, Gochuko, and we'll talk briefly about disaster management. I mean, you're a person that has been in charge of the FCT emergency management for quite a long time before handing over. In very quick words, how would you say that we're faring so far when it comes to our emergency management level and structure in Nigeria and the FCT?
Well, thank you very much. You know, when we started the activities of disaster management in the FCT, that was in 2013. A lot has been happening, but without taking note of the consequences. And unfortunately, when the FCT Emergency Management Agency set up in 2013, we had to go into really deep research, making sure that we're able to get the hazard mapping of the entire FCT, as well as vulnerability and capacity assessment of the people living in the FCT. Fortunately or unfortunately, that was where we started having bomb blasts here and there in the FCT. So our own target was to ensure that safety is enshrined, and then we expect the community, public, to know what is happening and to be able to identify signs that are very critical in case you see. We also try to ask people not to really be in a crowd because in most cases that the suicide bombers just target soft target and then detonate bombs. So we're able to really educate at some segment of the public, and then we face other things to ensure that all stakeholders are also brought together to be educated, and then them how to really respond to emergencies.
All right, I'm sure you want to.
Yeah, but so far, what would you describe as some of the challenges that disaster management agencies are facing in Nigeria? Maybe disaster management as a whole. What would you consider to be some of the major challenges?
But honestly, there are lack of working tools. Majority of the disaster management responders. To take, for instance, in the within the FCT, we have so many responders, and those responders, they lack tools, especially modern tools. You cannot fight disaster now without really using modern tools, because even the disaster is modern in nature. Because if you take climate crisis, it's changing its own faces day by day, and even the flood you had last year will come with different face this year. A lot of things have to be constantly researching and coming up with technology that will be able to first issue early warning to the public, and second, there is any crisis, any eventuality, we have to use modern technology to be able to rescue people. And if you can see in developed countries, if there is fire or flood, you could see a helicopter coming to us, go and pick a person and lift him up to a higher ground. So we need to also start using that. Apart from that, we also have to be using drones. We can use, if there are floods somewhere or there are crises somewhere, we have to send the drones and get us the information as quickly as possible. Then we should be able to know who to send, type of rescue team are we sending there. Sometimes you could send a service team, and it is not required at that point in time. You could be sending a diver. It's not required at that point in time. So, but if you have a drone that can go and get an information, you quickly get set and send the right team to go and rescue people without wasting time. So we need to equip the responders with the modern techniques of rescue and the equipment, and we also need to train them and teach them, that is, whatever technology you buy, whatever technology you buy, how small it is, you have to stimulate so that you don't have to test it at the point of, it's just like a gun. You have a gun and you have not tested the gun, you are waiting for your enemy to come before you now start. But you will be surprised the gun will not start. So, but if you practicalize it for that day, so you know that you just pick your gun, cock it, and then fire. So that is exactly also what the responders supposed to be doing with their own equipment. They have to simulate, get knowledge about those equipment. Immediately they pick it, they should be able to use it and survive.
Okay, so you've made quite an interesting point, but as we get set to wrap up, there's this question I would like to ask. You were the pioneer director general of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, the FEMA, from 2013 to 2023. And I mean, that's quite a very long time. Now, there's this aspect where a lot of persons have been complaining that sometimes when these things happen,
people are not being given the exact number of casualties. So it's almost like these agencies don't give out the right number of casualties. People, they try to downplay the figure, they try to downplay the gravity of what has happened. And aside from some of the limitations that you've mentioned, how do you think that this can be addressed going forward? And also, was there any time that that your agency had to, downplay the figure just to reduce the level of tension to the people?
Well, not during my time. Let me give you a scenario. During 2024 bomb blast in Kenya, we witnessed heavy casualties, and I could not be able to agree with the figure at the point. At that point, given to me by the search and rescue team, what I did was to select one person from each responder and went around the hospital and ensured that we carried out a head count of those who were injured and those who died. We followed all the facilities city, and we were able to get the accurate figure. That accurate figure was what we reported. Let me tell you the implication of that. I, as the agency, I will be writing my report to the authority, and I will be asking for so much support. I will be asking for tools to work. I will be asking for follow-up medication, because those in the hospital, I have to follow up to ensure that they operate before being discharged in the hospital. I have to also employ, if I don't have, the social workers to come and counsel those who are in hospital because of the trauma. And I have to, at the end of the day, put up my budget and say, these are the kind of equipment I have because of the last incident. I was able to only use only 10 equipment. I now need 100 to be able to really effectively manage those any kind of disaster. Once I give wrong figure, I will end up hitting myself. So I have never ever given a wrong figure. I give accurate figures, and I don't think by giving accurate figures, non-accurate figures, I'm helping government or helping the people. What happens? Whether I like it or not, somebody can come and say he cannot see brother, so it's added to the size. I add. If I declare 10 as dead body, we could not see another, that is 11, and I have not repeated 11. So we have to be sincere in both sides, and that helps ensure that government can have an accurate plan. Then when you have an accurate plan, you'll be able to respond.
All right. I mean, you've clarified. As we wrap up, let us look at solutions. What do you think are solutions going forward when it comes to handling disasters going forward in Nigeria, in Africa at large? What are some of the solutions that, I mean, I remember the president of IAM saying that we can avoid disaster. So it's not something that you cannot be avoided. So what are some of the things that can be done to avoid some of these things from occurring?
We can only avoid the disaster when people are educated. If you have to give education to the public, let the public get to know the signs and indications of a disaster. Yesterday, you were at a conference where I mentioned that we have to ensure that they are able to really understand those early warning signs. If you don't understand the early warning signs, you can't be able to take any precaution. To understand the early warning signs, you need education, you need sensitization. So these are the responsibilities of the response agencies. They need to educate the public, they need to guide them, and then give them all the types of early warnings, how they can be able to see things before it happens. and then tell them what to do, because early warning must come with an early actions. Definitely, if you do that, you're able to avoid disaster. But if you don't, are waiting for disaster to happen, then it will just come to crash people. At the end of the day, you find out that the casualties are going to be so much. Most times, people are unaware because they don't follow those. And as at this time, see that every day, if you take your phone, I don't know how your phone is, you'll see that there will be storm between so hours and so hours. About then it will last for so. If you follow those simple instructions, you'll be able to plan yourself either to get home early or to leave home early. All these are early warnings given to you by the devices you hold and through the NIMED, who are given focus on rainfall on daily or hourly. So education, sensitization is the key that will now help in really reducing disasters. Those disasters are avoidable. All the disasters that we have, especially the face, are natural disasters. We don't, in fact, I'm one of those who don't believe in natural disaster, but I believe in natural hazard. So if you have a natural hazard, you'll be able to avoid anything. You work on it, and then you will see that nothing will happen. Both government and the public have to come together and ensure that they follow those guidelines, and then the early warning, and make sure that once you follow the early warning, you are safe of any problem.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abbas Idris, for having this conversation with us this beautiful morning. Maybe next time we'll be able to have your presence in the studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too. Have a great day.
True. Thank you very much.
All right. I think brief, straight to the point. I hope that we'll be able to answer some questions. Maybe another time we'll have a longer version of that conversation there, Dr. Abbas, talking about disaster management and what to do, what not to do, and try not to leave it to when it gets to the time before trying to solve a problem. And I think that's the much we can take on the show this morning. It has been a great time from 7 o'clock till now. Sure that you've had a great time. You can follow us on our social media platform on Facebook and Instagram. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get a chance to watch all of our other programs, anyone that you've missed. And visit our website for more interesting content on
www.rbnradiotv.com. Ugochukwu Madumere is my name.